Coalition. We are happy to see so many people here. We're happy to see such a diverse crowd gathered here and such a wonderful group of candidates, all of them seeking to become mayor of Birmingham. Thank you, candidates. My name is Cheryl Wheeler Stewart. I'm a journalist with WBHF Public Radio. My microphone. And I have the honor of serving as moderator. But first and foremost, I would like to thank the Reverend Arthur Price, the members and leaders of this wonderful church, 16th Street Baptist Church, for welcoming us in and opening its doors as they have done for so many years, for so many groups that are serving the community. So Reverend Price, thank you and your wonderful congregation. First of all, I'm going to ask Reverend Angie Wright to come up, and she's going to tell you a little bit about the coalition and what we're doing.
I'm not running for mayor. The last time I spoke at this church was in November 2011, when 5,000 people gathered to protest and come together against the nation's worst anti-immigrant law that the legislature passed. We all stood as one that night, and that was in keeping with the sacred tradition of this church and the amazing earth-shaking changes that have come through and out of this church. Tonight we gather to stand as one and continue in that sacred tradition. Stand as One is an informal coalition of many of the groups that are up here and many others that are working on behalf of vulnerable and targeted and struggling communities. We stand on holy ground tonight. We stand on holy ground doing what sometimes seems like unholy work, the business of elections and governance. But it is a holy thing when we come together across all walks of life, seeking to build up rather than to tear down. And that's what the Stand as One Coalition is all about. We're standing together with and on behalf of people facing huge challenges. So we welcome you to this forum where you will hear the stories of people whose voices often are not heard in the den of political infighting and electioneering. We're here as Stand as One to call on our leaders to honor and protect all of our lives, especially the lives of the most vulnerable. Immigrant lives, Black lives, Muslim lives, LGBTQ lives, the lives of our neighbors coming home from prison or caught in traps of payday loans. All of our lives, and the very life of our creation. By being here tonight, you're showing up for yourself, and you're showing up for your community, and you're also showing up for communities that you may not know, but you know deserve to be safeguarded and protected. So I want to ask you to give yourself a big hand just for showing up. You've been given a postcard when you came in. If you didn't get one, raise your hand and we'll get one to you. Just ask that you might fill those cards out, hold on to them, and as you're leaving, we'll have people collecting them in baskets at each exit. And that way we can stay in touch with you, let you know more about the coalition. Secondly, we have the Secretary of State here downstairs. If you need a photo ID in order to register to vote, you may go downstairs during this event and the people there will work with you on that. We are doing live streaming from the Stand as One Alabama Facebook page. We do have both sign language interpreting and Spanish language interpreting. So we're reminding our speakers and our candidates that they will need to not try to jam as many words as they can into 2 minutes, but just to speak, at a moderate pace so that the interpreters can keep up. Now finally, I'm a pastor And I usually object to people bringing their phones out in church. But I'm going to ask you to pull your phone out. Everybody pull your phone out. We have a text alert system where you can sign up to get text alerts if there are any emergencies or really important actions that are happening that affect all our communities. So this is the Stand as One text alert. And if you go to your messaging, you're going to send it to 313131. And in the body of the message, you're going to put in one word, stand as one. No spaces. Doesn't matter if you cap or not, use caps or not. So you send the word stand as one word, to 313131. And that's the way you can connect with us from here on out. So, again, thank you for being here, and now let's get on with this holy work.
As I said, and you can see here, we have 8 candidates. One candidate, well, a few candidates are missing. One of those is Mayor William Bell. He is out of the country today, representing the city, but had desired to be with us. So we wish him well and safe travels. Again, the structure is very simple. You will hear some very good information tonight. A moderator, I'm going to move quickly through the list. Each of the candidates will have 2 minutes to respond after questions. We're going to try to run a pretty tight clock so that everyone has an opportunity to respond. Again, we ask that there be no campaigning during this forum. We also ask that we give respect to this house of worship and the candidates who are taking so much of their time to be with us and to share their visions and to hear from this coalition as well. So, with that said, we will begin with our very first topic, and that is protection and support of the Muslim community.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ali Masood. My family is originally from Egypt, but when I was 8 years old, we came to the United States. My very first memory in America was actually at the airport. My mom went into the bathroom, and when she came out, she was wearing the hijab, or the Muslim head covering, for the very first time. And looking back on it, I realized how significant that moment was, because she was carrying with us our culture and our heritage and our religion as we made a new home here in the States. Recently, I heard about another Muslim woman who was at a Walmart when she was attacked by a group of men who ripped off her hijab and threw eggs at her. And during this climate of hate-filled political rhetoric, I wonder if that same thing couldn't happen to my mom here in Alabama. Recently, in Alabama, here in Helena, a Muslim family woke up to find their cars vandalized. The glass was shattered, the tires were slashed, there was motor oil poured all over the driveway, and there was racist graffiti spray painted on the side of the vehicles. This is not an isolated incident. The Council on American Islamic Relations has found that during the first half of 2017, there were double the number of anti-Muslim hate crimes as the first half of 2016. So my question tonight is, as mayor, will you support an ordinance and work to create a climate that protects our Muslim community from threats, hate crimes, and hateful rhetoric?
We will start from this right.
Yes, I would indeed. Dr. King said it best, and he made it very clear. A man should only be judged by the content of his character. And as Christians, we see through God's eyes. So we should love our brother and do everything we can to make our brothers feel safe. This great city where we live, I witnessed firsthand as my father, Bishop Woods, my uncle, Dr. Abraham Woods, Dr. Fred Shuttlesworth, and additional pastors and foot soldiers throughout this community came together in love to put an end to the hatred, segregation. And Birmingham has been a model for the rest of the nation to see. And as mayor, you know, it would be my top priority to make sure that Birmingham is a city, the administration will implement these and more policies to make sure, everyone is being treated fairly. Under no circumstances or terms is discrimination acceptable. And as mayor, I just won't talk the talk, we'll walk the walk, we will implement policies and procedures. The current ordinance that's in legal department that the city council already have in the legal department, we will sign that as mayor. We won't give you lip service. We won't just talk the talk, we'll walk the walk.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Randall Woodfin. The answer is yes. No one should feel or be targeted based on their faith, period. As a Muslim, in your home, in your neighborhood, at your job, at your business, even at your mosque, you deserve to feel safe, and your mother. In 2013, the city had a chance, its current administration had a chance to get it right, but the Human Rights Ordinance at the table. I think it's time we knock the dust off this document that's been sitting there and actually pass that Human Rights Ordinance. And I think it's time to go a step further. We should create a Human Rights Commission of volunteer organizations just like the one that's putting on this forum to make sure we're being held accountable to do what we can to protect every faith in the city of Birmingham. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Randy Davis, and I can understand what you're going through. My answer is yes. I do have Muslim friends that have experienced some of the same situations that you have experienced. And I believe, first of all, that no religious test should be allowed for any family seeking refuge in this wonderful country or this city of Birmingham, Alabama. And we have to have your back. And I know at times it doesn't seem that that's the case. And I apologize to you for that. I've been a civil servant for 22 years, and I know what you're going through, and I have seen the hate crimes. And I think working with the council, we should tackle that head on. The community speaks by voting council, and the councilman brings it to the mayor. So that we should tackle that day one, because it's not right. I want the city of Birmingham to
Testing one. Joseph.
I came back up.
I'll just say I want Birmingham to extend that greeting of peace be unto you. And we'll do all that we can. I think my time is up. But thank you, everyone.
Good evening. I'm Assalamu alaikum. My great friends. It's a great opportunity to stand in such a hollow place and address one of the most divisive issues in America. The issue of race, division, and violence, especially against any individual that practiced such a great religion. There were times in my life as a seeker and as a person that experienced a lot of things in my life. There was one chord, Islamic nation, Islamic people, some of the most beautiful people in the world. In a tragic pit, I came to a revelation and understanding of such a great religion. It brought so much to humanity. And it's imperative that we do truly stand as one, not just with a catchy term. For in this state of Alabama, and in this city that we live in called Birmingham, it's 164 square miles of city. And in America, it's the 16th most segregated city in America. So what we're doing is we allege to stand as one. It's not indeed happening. So to this beautiful religion, Islamic religion, and all of you that practice it, you will be welcome, unequivocally clear. And I can identify with the young man's mother, because like a foreigner that came to Alabama from Cleveland, not understand the culture of the South, I was knocked off my bicycle, put in the county jail at 11 years old, and called the N-word. So I have a personal experience of this hate and this racism. So please, let's practice what we preach. If we say we're going to stand as one, let's do it in Birmingham, and maybe we can move from being the 16th most segregated in America. Thank you very graciously.
Good evening. So happy to have you here. Such a great question.
Excuse me, sir, can
Yeah.
we please get you to use the microphone because it's being streamed?
Okay. Is
Thank
this
you.
good enough?
Yeah.
Is this better? Okay.
Thank you.
We'll go with this and I'll start my 2 minutes. Good evening. I want to tell you thank you for your story. Sometimes it's hard to share pain, but it's needful. We need to hear the stories. I'm Brother Sims and I'm running for mayor. But more so than running for mayor, I'm running for freedom. This is a fight for freedom. Freedom to be who you are in this country. I'm a former combat medic, serving with the United States Navy and the United States Marine Infantry Unit. I put my life on the line for this country, for the freedom that we all enjoy. Freedom to worship in places that are different from others. America's a pluralistic society. There are many different faiths here. And I'll die for every American that practices any faith. Because what we have to understand is that we are brothers. We're in this together. So, the question is, would I support or would I stand up for those who are oppressed, whether by religion or any other thing? Of course I would. A person asked the question, said, what would you do? You love Birmingham so much, would you die for Birmingham? Would you take a bullet for Birmingham? And I said, yes. I asked the guy, I said, well, would you? He said, I'll get back to you on that. So know this, Brother Sims is a freedom fighter. And this fight is not for office. It's a fight for the people. And I stand with you, bro. Okay?
Good evening, everybody. Yes, welcome to Birmingham. I'm Patricia Bell. And one of the reasons I'm running for mayor is because my beloved Birmingham was the city that stood up for justice, freedom, and equality for all. My foreparents stood in front of dogs and hose pipes, not just for me to be respected, but for all of humankind. So I am embarrassed that you came to Egypt, to my hometown, and was treated disrespectfully. And yes, I would support an ordinance to reinforce the respect of all of mankind, regardless of your Muslim religion, regardless of your faith. I would endorse and support that. But another thing I will do, the new superintendent that is now going to work for us, I will talk with her about implementing a larger funds for the Board of Education, bigger than 2.3, because we need cultural education. The children here, 98% African American, need to know the struggle that brought Birmingham to where it is today, with most of City Hall represented by the children who are African American. They need to know their culture. They need to know your culture, so that they will know that they must respect you. I will talk with Dr. Herron so that if this can be implemented into the curriculum, I give the Board of Education much more than what was placed in the budget. It is a matter of ignorance. Racism, I believe, I define as ignorance. And it is embarrassing. When I'm mayor, I will restore Southern hospitality and people skills and dignity to my hometown. And you won't have to worry about that again.
Good evening, the short, quick answer is yes, I will support that ordinance. Growing up as a Seventh-day Adventist in Birmingham, I experienced some of the same treatment and harsh realities when it comes to someone trying to judge you based on your religion and not on the content of your character. So I will support that. We need to understand first, though, before we pass an ordinance or a resolution in support of that, we have to understand the process and procedure. It's up to our local leaders to establish policy. If we're going to have meaningful change in the city of Birmingham, we have to have change in policy. Birmingham, Jefferson County, nor the state of Alabama has ever been wholly accepting of African Americans, poor whites, Hispanics, and others. Our leaders have failed us because they have not made changes in policy. Just recently, within the last year, our administration, actually our city council, made changes that will benefit the citizens of Birmingham, its workforce, by increasing living wages. But our mayor, along with our governor, shot it down. We have to have a mayor that's man enough to protect our citizens, protect our assets in the city, and make sure we have meaningful changes in policy that benefit our citizens. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. I am a sister. My name is Trudy Hunter, and I'm running for mayor. I am a sister of a Muslim brother, so I understand the racism as far as what he goes through. And yes, I do support an ordinance, but in order to change policy, you also have to understand the law. The 1901 Alabama Constitution doesn't allow us to do a lot of stuff which conflicts with public policy. And unfortunately, until we educate the people, people are fear of what they don't know. And when you get to know people and understand where they come from, their culture, and their traditions, and their customs, then that's when you break the barriers and bring them down. And only by educating our children and educating people and having a multi-diverse community, a multidisciplinary team to go out and teach and educate people, that's when the barriers will come down, the racism will come down. Structural racism is built into our, codified into our laws, into education, into everything that we do in this state. And until people understand that, things can only change when people can voice their vote. Voting is very important. Changing that Constitution, because only we can move forward is, and that's what drives me, is the 1901 Constitution. When I came, I'm a native of Boston, born and raised in Dorchester. When I came here and started teaching and learning at UA, getting my master's in social work, it saddened me to find out that the 1901 Constitution, immigration, minorities, women are second-class citizens compared to white men who are priority in the state, because we do live in a white supremacy state. Please don't misunderstand me. White supremacy is different than being a white supremacist in this state. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, candidates. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, candidates. Our next, y'all heard that?
We got it.
Okay. Now, our next topic will be predatory lending. And in response to this, please, candidates, remember to answer yes or no to the question at some point during your response. We're going to hear from our presenter on predatory lending. And in response to that, we will start with the responses from Brother Sims, moving to the right and coming back around, okay? So will the person from predatory lending come forward to the microphone? I'm sorry, this is Connie Franklin?
Yes. Good evening. First, I would like to give honor to God, who is the head of heaven and earth. And again, I would like to say my name is Connie Franklin, and I have worked hard for over 40 years. And I was married for over 22 years. I had a comfortable and successful life. Then my life changed. I found myself divorced. To take care of myself, I needed to work 2 jobs to make ends meet. Then I was laid off. Unemployment was not enough to cover my bills. I was desperate, so I took out a payday loan. When I couldn't pay it back in full after 2 weeks, I rolled the loan over. Then I couldn't pay in full after 2 more weeks. I rolled it over again. Before I knew it, I was in over my head. I was caught in a debt trap. And that made me feel like I was held in a cage. No way out to escape. The flashing lights of those payday loan stores were so easily acceptable in my neighborhood. I thought it offered me a temporary solution to financial problems. But 12 years and 7 loans later, I am still stuck in this deceptive and predatory lending practice. Birmingham is using zoning ordinance to prevent payday and title loan stores from locating within 2,000 feet of another store and have put a moratorium on new payday business. Still, there are 105 title and payday loan businesses in neighborhoods in Birmingham. And the extremely high interest rate target people like me who can least afford it. Many mayors have been vocal about the need to restrict high interest rates of payday loans, including the Tuscaloosa mayor, which is Walt Maddox. Change can only happen at the state level of Alabama. My question to you as mayor, would you support restricting high interest rates of payday and title loans and take the lead by working with other mayors and elected state officials for the passage of fair and equitable lending reform for the consumer like me? Thank you.
Your story breaks my heart.
Use the microphone. Use the microphone.
Our hearts should be broken. There are 70,000 people that live in this city that live in poverty. No one fights for them. No one goes to bat for them. And we sit in our comfortable chairs and we don't stand up and we don't fight for those who need us most. It is shameful that we're here. Home Rule does this because we don't have it. Predatory lending affects everybody. It's not an isolated affair. If it was up to me, they wouldn't exist. And if we came together as community, she wouldn't have to feel this way. She should be able to go to a neighbor or an organization. We, as a city, should help people. I take the $2 million off the security detail budget and help other people. Take the money that we waste on travel, $330,000 in rides, and use it to help our people. It's time that we stand as one. Our hearts should be. Talk to me after you finish. I ain't gonna pay all of it, but I do have 5 on it. Okay, but we're gonna help you, sister. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, well, Connie, I want to say, I'm sorry that this has happened to you, and certainly I will support a fair, equitable lending reform program. But I think that our incumbent mayor and the Tuscaloosa mayor will have to catch up fallow ground. I mean, because after all, just correcting the lending and getting a new reform isn't going to be good enough. Because you name the numbers of businesses that are still going and still functioning. That's because they have people who want them. And they are diligently going to them, and some of them have not gotten in the shape that you're in. And they use them constantly because they can't get what they need from the banks. When the 4-year-old was killed in Kingston, do you know how that section of the community gets their money when they don't have insurance? They get little bottles or little buckets, and they put them in these stores where these people are making money off of the community. But they're nice enough to let them get money to help to bury their children and to do what needs to be done. They're in a whole different world. So the mayor, Maddox, and our incumbent, they are behind the ball. They are out of touch. Over in Bangladesh, they started microloans because they wanted to get the people out of poverty. So here in Birmingham, we need to look into ways of establishing startup businesses and ways to fight what your churches should have money in place. And the mayor should be working with the faith community to see to it that that's done.
Again, I would support any ordinance that would actually delete, terminate all and any type of predatory lending, not only in the city of Birmingham, but the county as well as the state. But as it was mentioned earlier, the Alabama Code, it allows the protection of big business and corporations and not the little people, not the worker bees. It is set up for us to work until we're dead, so that those over the mountain interests, those in the county interests, those people in the state and out of state continue to profit off of our labor. So until we have a leader that's willing to stand strong with courage to fight for the citizens, nothing will change. Change nothing, and nothing will change. So again, I will support that. But we have to make sure that we have someone willing to fight for the citizens. In other cities, more progressive cities across this country, they have systems in place from City Hall all the way down to the communities where there is assistance. Consumer protection is no different, it shouldn't be any different from citizens protection. We have to put community back in Birmingham. We have to put the village back in Birmingham. We have to put the family first back in Birmingham.
Yes, I would support loans, but I would truly get rid of them too. As a mother who had to do that herself, and I'm being honest, because that's what a mayor should be, it's transparent. I've been in the world, I understand we come from places where we need help. It is my belief, and you know, as God led me here to come to Birmingham and live and to give my talents to the city, I realized that people should be able to go to, we take away the social service agencies in the neighborhood, so there's nowhere for people to go in times of need. As a social worker, I love being a social worker first and foremost, because my duty, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 356 days a year, until the people of my community. I live in the Hillman community. I love it there, and I will be there until it's my time to be gone on this earth. But we need to work together and understand the law, because when you have a mayor that knows the law, who has educated and has strived to go to get this education so she can change and create change and help people know that we can do this. If we stand as one, then things can change. I want to be that catalyst. I've been there, and I know the struggle, because it's a vicious cycle that we get into, and it's hard to get out of. And nobody should have to feel that way, especially when you have children. I'm a grandmother, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm all of it, so I do feel for you. And only then can we do and move forward is if we all come together and know that there are things we can do. Because you know what? We have the power. I'm still a voting member of this community. We have the power to change and create change. Thank you.
I would also immediately fight to restrict and regulate this industry. Once again, the fact of the matter is our mayor once again stood on the sidelines and watched as our state legislators, led by Oliver Ross, who lobbied for this payday industry, took thousands of dollars. Took thousands of dollars. Let's just talk. We in church, didn't we talk? We in church. This is real talk. And he stood on the sideline and allowed that to happen. When President Obama came to Birmingham and visited Austin State College, he taught it that, hey, it's 22 states across America who has already regulated this payday loan industry. Birmingham, Alabama, step up to the plate. He went on to say that there was 4 times payday loan lending institutions in Alabama than there was McDonald's at the time. And I'm just telling you, the fact of the matter, you need a leader who's going to put the people first. All right. And our mayor said he's working for us. But with work like this, I mean, we don't need it. Let's terminate his service. That's the immediate plan. To go to Montgomery and fight for you, work with our state legislatures. That's why my campaign is about unifying people from all walks of life, because it'll take everybody working together. It's her problem today, but it'll be your problem tomorrow. So we must come together in unity and make a change. As mayor, I would put the people first. And this would be a top priority to go to Montgomery. I believe the long-term plan is to bring our education system up, where our kids are at a top-tier educational system, where they learn through our pre-K program, our proposed industrial arts program, helping them to see themselves succeed in life with economic options, and teaching them the importance of how their credit score will affect their lives. It's time to stop talking the talk and walk the walk.
Candidates, please be reminded that we're live streaming, and if you would, hold the microphone so we can pick it up here, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ms. Franklin, I'm sorry. I truly am. The truth is, 105 of these predators exist across our city. Up and down Roebuck Parkway, up and down 3rd Avenue, West and Bessemer Highway, tilted throughout North Birmingham, and even portions of the south side of town. 105 of these predators are across our city. Now think about that for a second. There are too many people comfortable profiting off the poor. That's unacceptable. And so I applaud the City Council under the leadership of Ms. Scales as it related to the moratorium. I applaud Representative Todd, who's introduced the bill. But this is the time for the mayor and the council to work together with the Jefferson County delegation and with our faith-based community, because believe it or not, for all the disagreements that the faith-based community has, this is one that they all agree on. Profiting off the poor is wrong. And as mayor, yes, I support the restriction and consumer protection. But it's time to take that a step forward. When we talk about empowerment and empowering people, there are 2 ways to do that. We forget right here in the state of Alabama, economic boycott still works. And those 105 stores, one at a time. But the second phase, with our youth, we have to teach them financial literacy before they leave high school. Because that's the only way we stop this form of terrorism. That's the only way we stop it. So again, Ms. Franklin, I'm very sorry.
Yes, Ms. Franklin, I support you. I think all of us in one way or another have been attacked by predatory lending. I know going to Alabama A&M, you have so many institutions on their campus. And education has to start with our youth and our families, because it comes to you in the form of a website, it comes to you in the form of mail. We have to do better. It was an institution there. They say, you fill this out, you get $5,000. I'm 19 years old. And I got this credit card, man, saying $5,000. I don't have a job. But what do? We're uneducated. I got my mom and my dad. Now what am I gonna do when I tell them, Mom, I got a bill? You got what? We have to educate ourselves more, from youth till adults, and we have to do something to stop it. I'm in a supervisor position. I happen to go to human resources, and I see a young lady with 3 kids. She's closing the bank account because she had bills and she knows what's about to hit this bank account. So she has to cash her check. And she broke it down to me real talk. It's got to stop. She said, I got to pay my rent, Mr. Davis. She said, I'd rather this one just go overdrawn and I pay it when I can. That is real talk amongst everybody here in this room. We've been affected in some way, form, or another. And we've got to do better. I'm Randy Davis, and I'll be fighting for you and fighting for the citizens of Birmingham 100% to make a change. Thank you.
Connie, I see so many of you. Anytime you drive past those 100 so more predator lending, I see mostly black women that frequent those places. For the last 40 years, the citizens in this city, 30% of them have existed below the poverty level. There's 220,000 plus people in this city. 74% of them are black. 37.1% of them currently lives below the poverty level. 62.5% of them lives barely over it. That means that black people, that makes up the 74%, 1.4% of them are really making it. And then they're not making it because they got cousins like you that have to get some of their money. When they go to the bar, they try to be big bad and on top shelf. So they cause them to condescend almost back to that 62.5%. What I want to do, what the greatest champion from Alabama said, Joe Lewis. They said, Joe Lewis, how is it that you win these fights? Joe Lewis said he aimed high, moved in, hit hard. I'm aiming high. Within the first 21 days of the Frank Matthews administration, I'm going to call the big boys in, the financial battles. $53 billion went to Birmingham last year. It made and recycled 3,000 millionaires. The financial institutions, the regions, the compasses, it's because of them. They do not allow us to get our own money. There's an act coming called the 1979 Community Reinvestment Act that charges them. So I'll have a comprehensive meeting with them within the first 21 days. Any financial institution that has our money on deposit. I want a comprehensive plan within 90 days of how they're going to deal with poverty in our city. So I'm not going to be hidden where I can't touch. I'm going to aim high. It's those financial barons that has control of our institution that we need a tsunami proportion to shake them and demand that they give us a plan to obey the 1979 Congressional Community Investment Act. And I'm highly charged against that restriction. Connie, it won't happen in the next 40 years. That's a promise from Frank Matthews.
Our next issue is health and the healthy LGBTQ community. In response to this question, we will start with Ms. Trudy Hunter and come to your left.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Karina Harris, and I am a youth outreach specialist at the Take Resource Center, which was founded and led by a trans woman of color, and led by to help improve quality of life for trans women of color by meeting needs and increasing accessibility. My question to you all is, Will you institute safety precautions and trans-inclusive health benefits for trans people of color to live safely in Birmingham? And if so, how?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, sir. Will you institute safety precautions and trans-inclusive health benefits for trans people of color to live safely in Birmingham? And if so, how?
Wow, that was a good question, Karina. You know, being a social worker, you know, we're all about inclusive and not exclusive. Health in the transgender community is important because of all the issues that come after post-op. And it's important that they do get the proper care so they can lead a productive and healthy life and live to the right old age of 120. Okay? So I feel for you. And as far as how to do it, is getting everybody involved in making up a health policy council, because not one person can solve the issue. And in order to do that, we have to come together as a community, because we all deserve health care. Health care, we have children, we have husbands, mother-in-laws that deserve health care. You deserve health care. And in order to do that, we all have to come together as one in order to build a policy that fits within the law so everybody can enjoy the benefits that all citizens are entitled to. Thank you.
Historically, if we can see during the Obama administration, there were advances in laws that protected and brought benefits to the LGBT community. Yet, at a holistic level, it did not benefit or trickle down to African Americans or minority LGBT. So we have to go back not only at a local level, but at a statewide level as well as a national level to make sure we have policies in place that will affect and benefit all African American, poor white American, Hispanic, and others in a way that protects them and protects their interests. But we also have to make sure that we understand that this is a civil rights issue. And being in Birmingham, we should be setting an example internationally when it comes to issues like this. But bigger than a civil rights issue, it's a human rights issue. We need to be treated equal, and our laws that govern our land need to reflect that. The how, even as an engineer, I don't have an answer for that right now. But I can tell you this, we will bring the necessary resources together to make sure we have policy in Birmingham, in the county, and in the state that will protect everyone and make sure that we have equal rights for everyone. Now, you will hear, even though we're in a church, you will hear what individuals will say they will do. But judge us all on August 22nd based on what we've done and what we're doing as it relates to this issue and others. It's interesting to me, and it's almost frustrating to hear some of my opponents say that it's time for the mayor's office and the city council to work together. But even on the school board, he threw his own school board members under the bus to pay one of our past superintendents $100,000. We need to make sure we know the facts. Don't listen to words, watch action.
Yes, I want to say I agree.
Excuse me, Ms. Bell, before we proceed. We ask again that we show respect for each person. Please keep that in mind as our speakers share their thoughts. I'm sorry, Ms. Bell, for interrupting.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one of the things I concur with Philemon on is the fact that human rights are for all people. Certainly, as your mayor, I would be the first to defend transgender people being bullied and disrespected. I would be the first to stand because I believe in human rights for everyone. I don't want the transgender community disrespected and not safe. But you know, I don't want straight people to be disrespected either. And I have experienced that as a straight woman. So I would support a reform and a legislation to fight for your rights. But it is, as he said, it is human rights. It should cover everybody. We shouldn't have a special law. Make sure you don't bully transgender. You are a human being. Regardless of your sexual preference, I have no right to watch as mayor others bully you because of your sexual preference. And so that you can bet, you can count on that. I will not tolerate it, and as I said with the head of the superintendent, I would meet with her concerning the code of ethics for the school and how we would determine that this would not happen in our education system, and certainly in City Hall, we wouldn't tolerate it. All people, transgender, everyone would be respected under my administration, and I would stand against bullies any day, wherever they come.
It's an issue that we see in our country. We've had at the national level that people insult each other. I want to let you know that as mayor of Birmingham, my first duty is to love God and love people, right? To love you in such a way that you are protected, that you do have those things that are needful to get along in this life. Part of my platform, and I hope some of you have gotten it out there, read my platform. I want neighborhood community centers that will actually also have healthcare clinics attached to it. That anybody in our city can come to those health clinics that are attached to those community centers and get the basic health care that they need and referrals. Don't you think we need that? We need to take care of our people. Birmingham is a city, once again, and Frank, thank you for quoting some of that, but we have 70,000 people living in poverty. A lot of them don't have insurance. A lot of them don't have access to health care. They're uncared for. In this city, we've seen that we have the money to do these things, but do we care enough to do them? Do we care enough to, does everyone have to have a job with good insurance to get health care? No. We take care of our own. This is our house. This is our house. You will be respected in this house, and you will be protected in this house. That's the mayor's job. Also, like the law enforcement, is to protect and serve. And as your mayor, you will be protected and you will be served. Thank you.
Thank you so graciously for your questions. The Bible said that God made all nations from one blood. So it don't matter whether you're transgender, gay, straight, or what have you. The fact is that you're a human being. And there's a curse upon human beings that once you breathe, your first breath is your first breath to die. So unequivocally, you're going to die. In most cases, natural causes death is still death by whatever natural cause. So if you're white, you're going to get sick. If you're transgender, possibility, you're going to get sick. So you deserve whatever your preference, ever how you was born, you deserve the best health treatment. And I don't understand how this administration, George Bush's administrations and Trump administrations, how they could be so evil against people being sick, wanting to be well. I want you well. Transgender, I want you well. Black, I want you well. White, I want you well. So I will do what this mayor and this council, I will redo the mess they made. They got rid of 501c3s, non-profit sponsoring them. Colossally. I dare to put in a position where a lot of 501c3s are able to get money because 501c3s are the security blanket for any city. So I will do all I can to ensure monies are in the budget to deal with local institutions and health care centers that's in our community. That's a good way to do it. Because you deserve to be well each and every morning that you wake up. Thank you for your question.
Yes, ma'am. As mayor, I will fight for you. And the reason why, because your family, your friends, and your brothers and your sisters. It's kind of sad me being in law enforcement and seeing some of the things that I have seen, the hate crimes and things of that nature. And I don't believe the laws are strict enough on people who go out and do stupid things like that. They're not scared, just a slap on the wrist. We have to tackle these situations as a whole. But the first thing, we have to make people care. And I feel for your pain. I talk to individuals that are locked up. I said, what you doing, Mr. Davis? This is the only way I can get some assistance. He said, so I'm forced to know a system in which I can come in here and get some help. And it's sad that circle of poverty from